let's just talk about Marcus Rashford for a moment, because really interesting. We have to acknowledge outgoings, of course, as much as incomings, especially when we need outgoings to facilitate the incomings. And what that means is we've bought Cunha, we're negotiating for Mbeumo, but beyond those two deals, we are going to need to sell players. Now, I saw Beth's video yesterday about Garnacho posting about PSG. I mean, I'd be stunned if he went to PSG. I mean, they've got an abundance of wingers. Why would they need Garnacho? I still think Garnacho is probably going to end up at Napoli, because I saw Chelsea linked to somebody else yesterday. I couldn't get my head around it. Pedro of Chelsea. Pedro of Brighton to Chelsea. They're also looking at Ekitike. They're also looking at Gittins. They are looking at lots and lots of players. So I don't see where that's going to end up. But what I will say is, with Marcus Rashford, Nico Williams is going to go to Barcelona. So that is the end of that. And I have sympathy with any player that sort of puts their, well, maybe not Tevez or Di Maria, but look, Marcus Rashford wanted Barcelona in January and they wanted him. They couldn't offload Fati, and it sounds like you're being weightist when you say that, doesn't it? They couldn't get rid of Fati. It's the only time you can say it and not get into trouble. I'm going to say it again. So Barcelona really did want Marcus Rashford in January. I'm laughing like a kid. Hello everybody, today's clip is supported by Sleeper. Before we dive in, let me tell you a bit more about Sleeper. This app is making serious waves. It was the #1 downloaded sports app in the US during the NFL season, even beating heavyweights such as ESPN and Yahoo. Sleeper isn't just popular, it's because they truly deliver the best fantasy experience. You get deeper customization, more league options, and all the bells and whistles that make managing your fantasy team a blast. But that's not all. Sleeper is growing a fantastic community with several million people using it daily for their sports fix. Sleeper has a broad appeal and is genuinely built for everyone. So, if you're looking to up your fantasy game, make sure to check out Sleeper by clicking the link in the video description. Trust me, you won't regret it. Look, be serious. Barcelona really did want Marcus Rashford in January. They wanted him on loan till the end of the season, and Rashford desperately wanted Barcelona. That's why he ignored the Italian clubs at the start of January and anybody else, because he was waiting for Barcelona. And remember, he hadn't played football since the middle of December. Realistically, if I was Rashford, I would have been like, I want to move at the start of January because I need to get back playing. I haven't played for ages. But he really wanted Barcelona. Barcelona wanted him. He waited till the end of the window, and then they couldn't get rid of Fati. Ansu Fati, who was at Brighton. Probably pronouncing his name wrong. So ultimately, he ended up going to Aston Villa. He did quite well. But there was this belief that because Barcelona wanted him in January, they wanted him again in the summer, and they did. But then Nico Williams went, I want you, you want me, let's move. And Rashford sort of sat there now going, that's another dream gone. So, I mean, Robert McCormack's not here, I don't think, but he would be saying they still might want to buy him. They still might want to go for him, but in a way, I think it's a good thing for us. I think he would have been a good signing for Barcelona, but obviously Nico Williams is better. But what was going to happen with Barcelona is that they were going to play games. They were going to go, we haven't got any money, we're going to wait till the end of the window. I would rather know that Barcelona aren't going for Rashford in the middle of June than the middle of August. So Rashford's now... who am I to advise Rashford? Who are you? I mean, I'm not his biggest fan in the last 18 months anyway. I think some of his performances and effort and everything hasn't been where it can be. You know, having been one of my favourite players, I think he's, it's time to part ways, of course. But I do think he's a bit unlucky because he nearly did get the Barcelona move and it wasn't his fault. They've now gone for Williams. But what Rashford needs to do is look at what he did at Aston Villa and realise you don't always get what you want. And in his career, he's had a lot of things go well, playing for Manchester United, playing for England. And there's a lot of options beyond Barcelona. So he's got to find another option very, very quickly, because he will want to be in the World Cup next year. He will want to be in the internationals for England in September, and he just won't be in that squad if he's still at Man United at the end of August. He won't be in those squads. So he's got to find himself a move, and he needs a pre-season. Now, some people are saying, what about an apology to Amorim? I mean, look, it could happen. I'll be honest. I'll see through that like most people will. That would be because he can't find a move. It would be, people talk about Gyökeres, choosing, Arsenal over us. I mean, Rashford wants to leave. And if he stays at Man United and apologises, it's because he can't get a move. I don't think he'll do that. I think he's got way more respect for himself. I also think Ruben Amorim doesn't go back when he's made his mind up. So I just wonder whether Aston Villa might enter the party. Emery really liked Rashford, and Rashford had a good time at Villa. I think they parted ways because Villa didn't get Champions League football and Rashford wanted Barcelona. But if he can lower his wage demands, then I think there might be an opportunity there. Newcastle have been linked to him, but it's in the Sun and Sky. And why would Rashford suit Newcastle? Like, Rashford needs to play left wing. They've got Harvey Barnes and they've got Anthony Gordon. So unless Anthony Gordon's going to Liverpool and they're going to go for Rashford, I don't see that happening. So could we do something with Aston Villa? And a swap deal is what I was thinking about. And I think swap deals are very, very difficult because you've got all of Emi Martinez's entourage, you've got all of Rashford's entourage, and everybody has to come together on one deal. They're really difficult to do. Also, Manchester United will probably want to pocket pure profit. But in the case of Rashford, it might not be such an issue. I don't think we're going to see a swap deal involving Marcus Rashford and Emi Martinez, but it's far more viable than it would be for Garnacho, Osimhen or something like that. So I think the Rashford situation is not ideal. I really wanted him to get the Barcelona move. I think it would have been interesting. I think he'd have done well there, and you can understand why he wanted it. But you can't trust Barcelona in the transfer window. Barcelona do what's best for Barcelona. And he had a good run at Villa, and there won't be a shortage of people looking at Rashford. The great thing about that Villa loan is nobody can look at Rashford and go, but he's lazy and he doesn't turn up for training. Which is basically what Amorim was saying. He did well at Villa. Could have done better, but definitely could have done worse. So you're going to look at Rashford and you're going to go, I reckon there's something there. The barrier will be his wage. But I think if you're Marcus Rashford, you can't just go, I'm going to sit on my arse at Man United and earn 300 grand a week for the next 3 years, because your career is going to die. So he's got to swallow the bullet and go and find a football club. So look, the negative is that he ain't going to go to Barcelona, and where's he going to go? But the positive is he's still got 3 weeks before the start of pre-season to get out there and do some work and find a club. Goldbridge, that's the end of the clip. I'm sure you enjoyed it. In fact, I bet that's the best clip you've ever watched. So there's no reason not to subscribe to the channel, click the bell icon so you never miss a clip again. In fact, smash a like on the video, because we all know only legends like videos, and you are all legends. So please smash a like on the video, and we will see you again on the next one. Thank you very much for watching, as always.